very meaningful education forum. The advent of ChatGPT and many other technologies that we at Innovation Ventures call AI 2.0 is incredibly important, because what differs with this AI 2.0 from AI 1.0 is that AI 1.0 really is building an AI app for each app. So if you have TikTok, AI learns to do something with TikTok, like recommendations. Or if you have Amazon, AI learns to guess what products you might want to buy. And if you have AI for speech recognition or facial recognition, that's what the AI learns. All the AIs are silos trained on specific data for that application only, and it doesn't work elsewhere, and it's not universal. What AI 2.0 is the idea that why train one AI for every application? Can we possibly train one giant AI using all the data in the world so that the AI, using its quantitative brain, can summarize, conceptualize, and remember and combine ideas and generate and have discussions and really provide insight from all the knowledge in the world? Think about these AI 2.0 platforms as a super intelligent quantitative mind that reads everything in the world, and it has an encyclopedic knowledge that can answer questions, create photos and video and images that are photorealistic, and it really challenges our thinking in what technology can do in terms of emulating and actually doing things that people even cannot do. So this is truly phenomenal breakthrough. That said, there are still a lot of issues because these AI 2.0 don't yet quite know truth from fiction and makes things up, and they make mistakes, and they could be used to manipulate people. Lots of issues that need to be dealt with. But I think today we're talking about education. I think within education, technologies like this AI 2.0 is clearly a phenomenal tool that can be used for research, for understanding, for helping to write papers and summarize and helping kids to learn and grow. It's a great tool. But it also is not an independent autonomous product because of the errors that it has. So a student using a ChatGPT must keep in mind not everything is correct and has to learn to fact check. And ChatGPT can only be used as an expansion of ideas from which the student still should come up with to do the actual work and to do the actual summarization and pick out the ideas that are correct and meaningful and structure them. So these technologies are for human AI symbiosis, okay, not really like a search engine replacement. So I think the idea of banning ChatGPT for education is rather short-sighted because technologies will always move forward. The flaws will get fixed over time and is a phenomenal tool if you understand its limitations. So I think as a tool, it's not just one tool. We should be looking forward to a future when there will be a new PowerPoint, a new Photoshop, a new Word, a new Excel. These will all be rewritten. This is how exciting this AI 2.0 revolution is. The future search engine will allow you to ask a question and give you one answer. And the future e-commerce and advertising will show you one specific ad or product description that specifically targets that individual. And in the future, the PowerPoint should create your talk based on just knowing your thoughts, and it will be organized and developed with graphics and proper images and connect perfectly to you. The future Photoshop will create images not by taking pictures and editing them, but just by creating pictures that you described, and then you can make tweaks and changes by perhaps just talking to it or by using constructs that are not at the pixel level. So what this means is the future top people in particular professions will not be craftspeople. They will not be people who do repetitive work. AI will do that repetitive work. So if you think about, a brilliant marketeer who thinks about how to market, Pepsi or a cosmetic product or a car or what have you, that person has ideas described in words, and now those words don't need to be communicated to someone who draws pictures or who edits photos, but they can be just communicated to a intelligent AI that will do a better, faster job. So in the future, the people who will keep their jobs and actually become amplified with AI capabilities, so they're more productive, more influential, more impactful, will be the top 10% of the people who have creativity and insight and ability to analyze and extrapolate and strategize and take one field to another and are truly creative and come up with new ideas using that human ingenuity. And the routine work of drawing a picture, writing a paragraph, will be delegated to AI that will over time do a much better job than most people. So what's important to realize is that for education, we've got it wrong. It's not that how education should reject and keep students away from AI 2.0, but rather how education must do self-introspection on this technology revolution and what changes are required. If you think about traditional education, think about actually any area of human activity. How did humans play 1,000 years ago compared to today? Completely different. People went to opera houses or watch plays or Beijing opera. But today people are wearing headsets with virtual reality and playing games and watching 3D movies. Think about how people used to work 1,000 years ago compared to today. Think about how people transported themselves from 1,000 years ago to today. All dramatically changed. Interestingly, in education, we still got more or less one teacher in front of a classroom trying to provide knowledge and test students on whether they remembered. But this is completely backwards and wrong, because we're at an age where the information that you pass on and the rote learning that you have the students learn are no longer the most critical thing for success. And also all of the things that you tell them and teach them, AI will be able to do better. So why are we training students to become memorization robots when they will never ever beat AI at it? Now, I do understand education as a discipline is very conservative and needs to be so, because it's honed over the last few thousand years, and we found a pretty reasonable approach and methodology and pedagogy for the current education. It worked well over the last 100 years, but what used to work won't work anymore. What got us here won't get us there. So I think for education, we need to realize that in the future, rote learning is absolutely not what's going to be required for children to realize their potential, to get a good job in society, to be able to keep their job that's not displaced by AI, and also to find satisfaction. Because rote learning was never something people should enjoy doing. It's something people have had to do, because if we don't do them, who's going to do them? So we as human race have taught our children and ourselves that rote learning is good, that if you could do rote learning, you could get a good job that's sustainable, 金饭碗, right? And that's why many desk jobs and jobs in manufacturing and all those jobs were created. And of course, do you think most of the people are happy doing rote learning, repetitive work? Perhaps not. And that's perhaps why there are these, American dream, Chinese dream that says, hey, if you work hard, you'll succeed, your family will have a better life, your children will have a better life. So work hard and you'll be rewarded. That's what we've been taught growing up. And that is not the right thing to teach. That was a necessary thing to teach, or maybe I should say brainwash the society and the human race, so that people will put up with and accept the fate of doing repetitive work their whole lives because of this dream that they could provide for the family and their children will be better off. We're no longer like that. In the next 10 to 20 years, AI will do all the repetitive work. We will be liberated to do what we as human race are intended to do coming to this earth. We were not created or evolved to become repetitive machines. And we finally now have the tool of AI that will do the repetitive work, letting us do what we do best and letting us do what we and only we humans can do that AI cannot do. So education must develop in the kids the skill sets that focus on what we and only we can do. And if you think about, ancient people, whether it's Socrates or the Aristotle and the schools that were created in Alexandria, or Confucius and his disciples, or the days of Qin Qi Shu Hua, right? People really were able to do things that were intended for people to do. And now somehow with the Industrial Revolution, we've devolved into rote learning, and education was changed to fit the need to get people to do rote, repetitive, and frankly boring work. And now things are different and must change. So what is it that only we humans can do and that AI cannot do? And that is which education must evolve towards. Otherwise, our posterity will be stuck in a world where they're taught to do repetitive work, which is not valued, has no economic value, so they can't make money. And that's not important because the society will have lots of money that AI makes for us, but the biggest problem is people will become resigned to the realization that what they learn in school is useless, and that any job they could get can be replaced and will be replaced by AI. And they'll be, I think the biggest issue is not how much money is made or what jobs they have, but rather people will become depressed and feel like there's no meaning of life, that people are worthless. And that, I think, will cause phenomenal depression and really potentially bring terrible things to this world. So what is it, finally, that people can do that AI cannot do? And what is that which we must teach and become the core essence of education? I have a talk called the 3 R's, and I